Giles Corey was an interesting fellow, perhaps well known to you for his acts of defiance against the colonial government during the Salem witch trials. When he and his wife were accused of witchcraft, Giles refused to enter a guilty or not guilty plea, and because of that he was subjected to torture in the form of having heavy stones placed upon his chest. He is well known for his famous lines of "More weight, what a shad." Corey ended up dying just 3 days after being crushed, unfortunately, due to refusing to enter a plea. His estate was passed down to his sons instead of being seized by the Massachusetts government. Corey married 3 times in his life, leaving behind 3 daughters and 3 sons, I think, as I'm still not sure if Deliverance is a boys or girls name, so freme. Anyhow, the man was also successful at owning land as a farmer, in Salem of course, but that doesn't mean he was a saint of any sorts, mind you, as there are quite a few entries in the court documents which have him charged and confessed to a few petty thefts. The charges range from sleeping on the watch, I'm guessing he was some sort of guard, and once having his weapon stolen from him while doing so, collecting a canoe load of firewood while on watch, and stealing food, tobacco, knives, and several other items. There's also this little small, really tiny charge of murder on his behalf, but maybe we should talk about that, try to explain to you how it happened, right? I mean, we probably should, right? Anyhow, in 1676, Corey was brought to trial and charged with murder in Essex County, in Massachusetts, for beating to death one of his indentured farm workers named Jacob Goodale. Goodale? Anyhow, according to witnesses, Corey had severely beaten Goodale with a stick after he was allegedly caught stealing apples from Corey's brother-in-law. Though Corey eventually sent him to receive medical attention, thankfully, 10 days later, Jacob died shortly thereafter. But even though there was multiple witnesses and eyewitnesses around the time of the incident, corporal punishment was permitted against indentured servants during that time, and because of that, Corey was exempt from the charges of murder and instead was charged with using unreasonable force, for which he was found guilty and fined for it. That's about it. Anyways, let's talk about the interesting part of his life. I guess, the last part. Martha Corey, Giles' third wife, was arrested for witchcraft on the 19th of March in 1692. And before you say to yourself, here is where Corey put on his cape and outside underwear to become the hero of the story, not so fast. Do keep in mind that Corey was part of the crowd that believed Martha was a witch, at least until he himself was tried as a wizard. Yes, a wizard. In the play named The Crucible, for example, Giles is played as a man feeling guilty about his wife's accusation because he had told a minister that Martha had been reading strange books, which was discouraged in that society at the time, and because of that, it may have led to the eventual accusation of his wife. To summarize what you already know, Corey became a silent man of honor, and he refused to plead guilty to his accusations. 3 days later, he was sleeping with the fishes.
Now, you might be asking yourself,
what happened afterwards? Well, Corey's wife Martha was hanged 3 days after Giles. She actually had a son from a previous marriage named Thomas. He showed up as a petitioner for loss and damages resulting from his mother being executed illegally during the witch trials. He was awarded a whopping $67 in today's money. American USD anyhow. Good news, everyone! Kinda. Giles Corey was absolved of his crimes in 1712. Yay! Better late than never, right? Unfortunately, his wife Martha was not. Not that it matters, but I mean, that's kinda messed up. To add some salt to the wound though, although Corey's refusal to plead meant that his estate was protected from seizure, It was still reported that Sheriff Corwin tried his best to take away from his family by lying and claiming that he could still take over the property. Thankfully though, in the year 1710, Curry's daughter Elizabeth and her husband John Moulton, I kinda like his last name, I don't know, they filed a lawsuit seeking damages for Corwin's estate. Now we're not completely sure what happened afterwards, but you know what, since I love myself a happy ending, I like to think that Sheriff Corwin lost the lawsuit and gave some kind of peace of mind for the Corey children. A peace of mind that they deserve after going through their parents' injustice. Mostly Martha's though. Now this is the part where those that don't care, thank you for watching the video and I hope you have a wonderful day. But for those that do, in the essence of this being a storytelling channel, it makes you wonder, more specifically, the interaction between him and the sheriff. So without further ado, I made a small scene for your hearing pleasure, a conversation of sorts that definitely did not happen, but it would have been cool if it did, between these two historical characters. I hope you enjoy, folks, and let's see what happens! Oh god, what's happening over there?
I think somebody was accused of witchcraft.
Again? This is the third time this week. When will they... Wait, I think I know that man. Isn't that the farmer who almost killed that worker of his?
Think you're right, but I heard the guy stole from him or something like that.
Brother-in-law, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
Giles Corey! I knew that man was no good. He burned down my house, you know. I knew that man was evil.
Wait, pretty sure it was your own son who burned down that house, wasn't it?
Oh, shut it. It was him, all right. Probably using one of those wizard powers.
Right.
Giles Corey has been accused of witchcraft, working in tangent with his wife, Martha Corey, who shall be hanged soon as well for her crimes of witchcraft and possession of witchcraft material. Now, Giles Corey, confess to your crime and die an honorable death in the eyes of the public and God. What do you plead?
More weight.
Mr. Corey, you're attracting quite a crowd. Look at you being Mr. Popular.
More weight.
Calm yourself. Our little conversation is far away from these dirty, rotten villagers. They cannot hear you, nor I for that matter. So our conversation is safely kept between you and I. Besides, they're too busy worrying about whether you're going to cast upon them a curse or vanish them into oblivion. Anyways, how about you do yourself and your family a favor and plead guilty? Your land will be confiscated, mind you, but just think that your children would have a peaceful life for the remainder of theirs. Make this easy on them.
I know the law. More weight.
Well, nobody can say that you don't have any energy left. Oh, you poor old man. You look exhausted, beaten, shame after being taken away from your clothes and possessions, your warm bed and home, and now you're being laid on the streets to be humiliated. Don't you know when you've been beaten, Mr. Corey?
You're not taking anything more from me. I know you want the land for yourself. Damn you, Corwin, and damn your corrupt system. I'm not bleeding either. More weight.
Huh. Have you thought of your wife? Martha, was it? since this whole ordeal started. I wonder how will she feel in knowing that this whole predicament started because of you and not her? How would your children's mindset change when they find out that you damned them along with her when you accuse her with the minister of her questionable hobbies? I don't think they would like that, Mr. Curry. So, all I'm saying is that this little sin of yours can die with you right here, right now. All you have to do is to plead guilty or not guilty. Either way, it all means the same at the end of the day.
Come closer.
Huh? Gonna confess at last, Mr. Curry?
Do tell me. The sad thing about all of this is that at the end of the day, Corwin, whether you succeed in killing me, my wife, and all else who tries to stand in your way, you will still not get my land, because my sons will die on their homes, and at the end of the day, you will have nothing. More weight.
Fine. Have it your way, Giles Corey. Come on now. You heard the wizard. More weight.